Hello YouTube, it is CJ the Immortal here, back with another Project Spark tutorial where I'm making my first game while doing some tutorials. So in this video we're going to be showing you guys all about the character properties that you can edit. So right here we are in what you want to do to get here is you want to hold LB on your playable character, press B to go to press B to go to character studio, character. Well, I mean, there's two different. Okay, so this is character. This is where you can choose like your head and hair and everything. Clothing, which is your clothes, and then we have, if you go to edit, properties, which is more. You can see you can get the appearance here. You can make it invisible. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can get rid of shadows. You can change the speed of the character. I think I'm gonna make the character a little bit slower. It's definitely a little fast. Make the acceleration maybe a little bit slower. We can definitely go to jump, turn off 1, 0 in our jump count. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll make the jump not super duper high. Air control on. Yeah, that sounds fine. Airspeed, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so then fly. We're not going to worry about flying. Speed, swimming. We'll make it pretty slow, I guess. We'll make it that. And then advanced, this is this stuff, I mean, you really don't have to worry about this. So now if you can see, if we go into test now, things are going to be a little bit different. So when we walk a little bit slower. We can't jump, so I do want to set that to, okay. So I want to set it to in-air jump count 1. 1 second. I forgot how that worked exactly. So properties, movement, jumping, in-air jump count 1. So now if we go back into the test mode, testing, you'll see that we can jump. We can jump, and yeah, it's not as high of a jump as before. We definitely walk a little bit slower. So yeah, that's that. The only other thing that I really like to do is go into properties, movement, possibly ground turn speed. I feel like I turn way too fast. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So like per se this. And then if we go to jump, in air, turn speed, turn this down a heck of a lot. Like pretty low. Because I just feel like I turn way too fast. So if we go back into it now, we go back into test. You can see that we'll be turning a little bit slower. And then if we jump, we definitely turn a little bit slower when we're jumping. So overall, I just like this better. I like to be a little bit slower because I feel like they make you a little bit too fast. But that's just my opinion. You guys can change that however you'd like. So we go back into properties. Then we also have combat. And this stuff you can worry about, but really I would just worry about this in the code. You can change hit reactions. I mean, this stuff, I would say that I would probably deal with all the reactions and combat stuff in the code, because this stuff, it doesn't always work right. So like max health, I would just worry about setting the max health in the code and your starting health and all this stuff like that. The only thing is you got to make sure that if you, whatever you set the maximum health to, you increase the starting health to that too, unless you want to start with lower health. Then yeah, you can just edit any of this stuff, edit the damage. So like we can change our melee damage to do more or less. And since in our code we only have we just have melee, we will just do our basic light, I think, melee damage when we melee. So that's that. Then you can go to sound. This is basically just adding like how far you can hear the sounds in the world. Physics, basically always have cloudable on. Physics type, character, probably just fine. Density, mass, drag, gravity factor, friction, and bounciness. This stuff, a little bit more advanced. We're not going to really cover that. Not really that important. Then we have the brain. This stuff has to do with your brain. You can turn it on template. Power on or off, which is for your brain. Once again, this stuff, I would just deal with that in the code as well. And variables is totally separate. So now we're going to go into the character studio, and we're going to go to character. And here we can change our body, which we have no options, but we can like go to color. We can change our skin color a little bit, like if we want to make it a little bit browner, make ourselves a little bit darker. We can change our undergarment color, which you can't really see those, so it doesn't really matter. Short strap, we can't see that either. We can go to head, change the head we want to go with. Honestly, the original head is probably my favorite. Just the basic head. You can also change, this is where you can change the lip color. So if you want to make the lips, let's say, a little bit more orangey, or if you want to make them a little bit more like a pinkish color, we go down to pink, make them a little bit more pink, like maybe like this. I don't know, it's totally up to you guys. That's a little bit weird of a color, so I'm gonna go back up to like orangish, make them like a kind of like a tannish color, and change the eyeball color. So if you really want to make them like super blue, you can go like that. Eyeball, we can make it super white. Mouth, you can't really see that right now. Tongue, you can't see that, and teeth, you can't see those. But we can also go to hair, change the hairdo. Got a few options here. I mean, I'm just going to stick with this one. And then also you can change the color of the hair, so we can make it like lighter or something like that. We can make it like a golden color like that. Then we can go into here and make, let's say, like a green hair streak. I don't know, something like that maybe. Like a hair streak that's kind of like yellow maybe. What else? You can do a lot of stuff here. And then you can get a mustache if you want. I'm not going to go with a mustache, or a beard. I'm not going to go with a beard either, but those are options. You can also change the color of those. Also, last thing really is clothing. This stuff is just what you're wearing. Also, with this, I would probably just go with coding as well, because that's just probably, it's just kind of what I would go with, because what you can do is, like, unless you want to have a game where you're always wearing the same stuff, I'd probably go with coding for this stuff, because you could just set everything to empty, right? And then you could go into your code and say, like, equip beginner stuff or something like that. Or you could just put on rags, and then we can have it so you, like, equip beginner stuff at the beginning of the game or whatever, stuff like that anyway. So, yeah, that's what I'd recommend for that. Same thing with weapons. Probably just do that in code. Just have it so when you first spawn in, you equip certain stuff. This is also where you can do attachments, where you can add stuff and attach it. This is basically how you can kind of customize your character a little bit more. It's really the only way to do like a real like custom character in this game, and you can get pretty in depth if you want. Recording Studio, this is how you can like record using Kinect to make special animations, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the character properties. That's basically all we need to go over. Now our character's naked, but don't worry, we will make sure we deal with that in the next episode. So keep in mind, you can do this for any characters. You can do it for NPCs and enemies to change their combat stats, which again I'd recommend with code, but that's besides the point. If you really want to just be basic, you don't even have to worry about code. You can just go right into the properties of stuff and change it. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to show your support, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.